recession. It's a major buzzword right now where everyone is a little concerned about the economy. Where are things headed? How am I going to be able to predict my financial well-being in the future? And how does it affect real estate? Hi everybody, Dan Jensen with RE/MAX Park Square. And I want to quickly touch on the difference between a recession and a market crash when it comes to housing. And it's actually a twofer for our word of the week. So first of all, a recession generally is defined as 2 consecutive quarters of declining economic growth, or GDP, for a certain country. So the US has experienced that, so a lot of people do consider us to be in a recession. How does that affect real estate? A lot of people equate it to a direct cause and effect type of thing, where if we're in a recession, the market's going to crash. And to be honest, that's not true. The only effect we've seen so far is a rise in mortgage interest rates, which has affected the market and slowed growth, but it has not seen a recession or a decline in home sales or prices due to the recession. So there isn't a direct correlation like many think. In fact, only once before has a recession had a direct negative impact on housing, and that was in 2008 when pretty much everything went wrong. So they're related, but they're not the same. Now, when we're looking at the market as it pertains to housing, what we're really looking for is, are there any distressed homes and is there any delinquencies? Once those numbers start to rise significantly and we start seeing more foreclosures, short sales, and properties that basically are going to be sold at a discount, until we see something like that and or a decline in the need for housing, we're not going to really see a market crash. So right now there has been an uptick in delinquencies. Some people can't afford their mortgage. There have been a few short sales here and there, but nothing even slightly in comparison to the previous market crash. And that is a good sign for housing stability going forward. So if we don't see a crash, we don't see delinquencies, foreclosures, and defaults, we should be in good shape for housing. The reason that we haven't seen that is the lending practices have been tightened up so dramatically from the last crash that it's really hard to give out a loan to someone who truly cannot afford their monthly payments. Now, hardships can happen. You either have a loss of income, loss of job, death in the family. Terrible things can happen where you can't make your payments on the house. But because mortgages aren't being given out to just every person on the street for $1 million, we're not seeing this rapid increase in defaults. So you can rest easy that the recession that we may or may not be in, depending on who you talk to, but the declining economy will not have a direct correlation in the short term and most likely in the long term as far as real estate. So if you're looking to purchase, make sure that you find the right home, that with the rising rates, you find a payment that makes sense for you and that you can maintain. And purchasing real estate should be a good long-term investment. Now, where we are in the market right now, we have seen such a drastic increase in pricing over the past few years. If you're looking to buy and you might only be there for 2 to 3 years, that case, you might not see a return on your investment. You will probably either sell at a break even or at a slight loss, just because the market can't continue to go up at such a staggering rate. You've already seen it kind of plateau right now. It might have a little bit of a backslide, but that will come back up with a 2 to 3% increase per year going forward after that little bit of a slide. So I don't know when exactly it's going to happen, but that's the natural ebb and flow of real estate. But a crash and a recession, related, but not the same thing.